Hey y'all, Melissa here at Twin Oaks Family Farm in rural Southeast Ohio, USA. I'm your host here at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a Wednesday, so it's time for a Watch It Later Wednesday video for this week. It's September 25th, 2024. I've got 3 videos pulled off my own Watch Later list that I watched. Want to share them with you, tell you some info on them, share the links to them in the comments and in the description. So if they pique your interest, you can link directly to them. And if those channels pique your interest, you can scroll through the video selections there, watch a few more on those channels, give the channel hosts some feedback, and we appreciate you joining us. Also, if you use the Watch Later feature on your YouTube app, feel free in the comments to share a suggestion for the community here at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry off of your Watch Later list. We do this set of videos, Watch It Later Wednesday, because my own Watch Later list has grown to now over 200 videos. I'm constantly seeing things that, oh, I don't have time to watch that, I'm going to put it on the Watch Later list, and trying to watch some that are on there and remove them off the Watch Later list. So it's fun to share with y'all what I'm watching off of that Watch Later list. So I'll give you those 3 suggestions from what I watched, and a title to one that I want to get watched, but it's a longer video and I haven't had time to watch it yet. So I'm going to try to this week and be able to talk about it on our next Watch It Later Wednesday. And then before we wrap the video up, we'll step into our own meat bird production barn and show you the Cornish wrap cross meat chickens that we currently have in production for poultry. A big inspiration for us to have this channel is to encourage people to heart local ag, which is our way of saying support local farmers, ranchers, and producers wherever local is for you. We want to encourage people to consider the difference between whole food, real food, unprocessed food versus ultra-processed food, which is really prevalent, at least in the American culture. And we want to encourage people to consider the difference and consider sourcing food as locally as possible from farmers and ranchers and producers directly if possible, or even producing some of their own, and just to have an awareness of supporting local agriculture wherever local is for you, because undoubtedly consumers need agriculture and the food that farmers produce, but we have a realization as producers that agriculture also needs consumers. And that theme goes really well with one of the videos actually that I want to share with you today. So I'll mention that when we get to the 3rd video link that I'm going to give you. So let's get started with the videos right away. So first one I want to share with you is on one of my favorite channels. This is a ranching family in Canada, cattle ranch, and the channel is called Farmer Always, and it is a growing channel. It has a little over, I think, 2,300 subscribers on that channel, and I love the scenery, love to see their cattle ranch and learn about what they do. This particular video that I'm going to share with you, though, is about a hatchling chick and an egg that's in an incubator that would be hatching a chick out. So the title of the video is called Just Hatched. At this time, I think it has about 50 views on it. It was uploaded about 3 weeks ago, and it's so cute to see the newly hatched chicks, so I hope you'll take a look at it. And it just really reminded me of even when we get chicks here for our meat bird operation. So like, for example, this year we're raising 1,650 Cornish wrap cross meat chickens in 6 flocks. So when we get our chicks, they are shipped here the day that they hatch, and so you know it's a lot of shipping stress for them, and they need to rest a lot to recover from the shipping. And then even just being a baby chick, they rest a lot because they're growing tremendously in the beginning, and with the meat chicks especially, even as they get to the end of production, they're growing rapidly from week 1 to week 6 the whole time that they're in production. But to see this newly hatched little chick in this video, just hatched, of Farmer Always, and it's sleeping, and a little baby chick just sleeps with everything in its being. So it's just so cute. But you get to see the little chick, you get to see the other egg, you get to see what it's like to have that in an incubator, one example of that. So we'll put the link to that, Farmer Always. Check that out. Okay, so second one really, truly, just for fun. Now, it resonated with me, and I related to it because my husband loves crop farming. So my husband and his family have always been involved in cattle farming, crop farming. They've raised pigs. So the farm is a couple miles away from our house that they've always farmed. They also lease farm ground, but my husband's preference when it comes to farming is crop farming. So, you know, when it's a busy planting time of the year or a busy harvest time of the year, that really becomes a priority. Just like with our poultry operation here, you know, we plan our calendar year a year ahead and a year at a time, and we plan around, okay, when do we want chicks to hatch and when do we want to take chickens to the processor, and other things like vacation or gatherings, get-togethers, really end up scheduled around that calendar. When are the chicks going to hatch? When are the chicks going to be processed? And it's very similar with a crop farmer and planting time and harvest time. So the second video link I'm going to put out there is, it's humor. If it's not something that resonates with you, it's probably going to come across as dry humor. It resonated with me, so several times throughout the video I was chuckling. I was like, yep, that gets said here. Yep, I can relate to that. So it's things farmers say during harvest. It's a Peterson Farm Brothers video. The video itself is about 6 minutes long. I think that video has had over 32,000 views. Peterson Farm Brothers channel itself is a huge channel. 50, let's see, I'm struggling to read my writing. I don't know, a lot of subscribers. A lot of subscribers. So you'll just, you know what, you'll have to link to it and look at how many subscribers. Lots of subscribers. I honestly can't read what I wrote down there, but this particular video was uploaded 3 years ago. Planting and harvesting obviously are timeless activities. Maybe the equipment changes, maybe the techniques change a little bit, but the cycle and the process of a planting and a harvest is, you know, time eternal with humanity. And a crop farmer is really focused in on getting things planted, getting things harvested, and that is a true priority. So when I was listening to things farmers say during harvest, really resonated with me. So both of these first two video suggestions, you know, Farmer Always, if you want to get a glimpse of what life is like on a Canadian cattle ranch, Farmer Always is a great channel for that. If you want to get a taste of what is farm life like for the farmer and the farmer's family, Peterson's Farm Brothers gives a really great representation of that to people. So I hope you'll check both those out. Okay, so the third one, now this one was really resonating with me, and I think we'll take a step in here and I'll give you an idea why it's really resonating with me. So this is our freezer shed, and so all these cardboard boxes are empty. So we just recently, like in the last 10 days, picked up poultry from our poultry processor, and that's what the poultry is packed in. And these freezers are not totally full of poultry that we market, but almost full of poultry that we market. So obviously, just like for my husband, being able to get the crops planted, get the crops harvested is a really big deal. For me, being able to market and sell the poultry that we produce is a really big deal, really top priority. And so one of the videos that's been on my watch later list has been Broiler Chicken Sales Secret. It was actually uploaded about 3 years ago as well. Now, I've only personally had the YouTube app on my phone for about 1.5 years. So I would say Broiler Chicken Sales Secret, I probably added to my watch later list pretty early on in my use of the YouTube app. It is on a channel that is phenomenal if you are raising chickens, even if it's backyard flocks, and even if what you're producing from them, eggs or meat, is for household consumption. DIY Agric, this channel, is phenomenal. It's based in Nigeria, and even if you're a farm business that isn't specializing in poultry, there are a lot of videos like this one I'm going to share with you that are just really great instruction, really great suggestions. So this particular one on DIY Agric is called Broiler Chicken Sales Secret. It was uploaded 3 years ago. It has 43,000 views itself. It's about 16 minutes, 42 seconds long. I think I mentioned based in Nigeria. The host is an animal scientist and a poultry business person. So this video is basically 8 marketing tips for selling poultry, okay? As I mentioned, if you sell a different farm product, this is still a great video to watch. It's still great marketing advice. 8 tips for selling your farm product. Some of it is particular to poultry, but most of it can be generalized to other farm products and can be generalized to anything. I loved this video. Broiler chicken sales secret, how to sell your chickens and maximize profit. It is 8 tips for sales, 8 tips for marketing. If you're selling any kind of farm product, I highly suggest you watch it. If you're raising chickens, and selling anything from the chickens, even if it's eggs and not poultry, I still recommend you watch it. And even if you don't sell anything from your chickens or from a small farm you have, you still might want to check that channel out and see some of the different video selections offered there. A lot of great animal science concepts and principles are taught on this channel, DIY Agric. So I hope you'll check that out. I will put a link for Broiler Chicken Sales Secret. Love the channel. Truly, I truly cannot say enough about the channel as far as poultry and poultry business, both egg production and meat production. DIY Agric is a great channel. With having mentioned that it's based in Nigeria, the host has a distinctive dialect and accent to his speech. I find it very pleasant and really enjoy listening to it. And that's a great thing about having something on video, especially the way videos are now, you know, digital, handy on the phone. You can press pause, you can scroll it back, whatever. If you need to hear something a second or third time, sometimes I need to let my brain work through the linguistics. But it's just great. So check out DIY Agric if you're raising chickens for sure. Okay, so the one that I'm going to give you the title, I didn't copy the link, but I'm going to try to watch it this week, Farming Against the Government with Joel Salatin. And I think it's somebody else's podcast, Nick Freitas, F-R-E-I-T-A-S, I think. But the thumbnail says Farming Against the Government with Joel Salatin and has a picture of a host and Joel Salatin on there. It's about 2.5 hours long, is why I haven't got it watched yet. But I think I'm going to start working on it, try to watch a little bit each day and try to talk about it next weekend or watch it later Wednesday. But I'm really interested in watching this video. So Joel Salatin, many people involved in agriculture have heard his name, and Polyface Farms, and he shares principles that they use at Polyface Farms. And so I just want to watch it. So if you get to watch it, you can share some feedback on it as well. But check out those channels. So that was Farmer Always, Peterson Farm Brothers, and DIY Agric this week that we're sharing with you. Let's take a look at the meat birds before we wrap it up. So these are Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens. They are 22 days old. Today is a great day for them. It is about 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and the temperature range that they are really wanting in their ambient conditions is 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. They're very content. They've been eating well, drinking well. They're distributed pretty evenly throughout their living space. We're not seeing them pile up on each other anywhere, and we're seeing them utilize most of the space around the building. They're able to walk well. They have freedom of movement, and being inside in their building that's built especially for them, they're protected from predators and they're protected from the elements. And that's our motivation for raising them inside a building instead of outside, is it allows us to give them optimum protection from predators and optimum protection from harsh elements or extreme weather. So I kind of had a little bit of a close-up over here. The one moved, but they all moved when I stepped toward them. But the one, so the two, oh gosh, well I was going to try to tell you I had a great shot there of the hen and a hen and a rooster. So the one approaching water is a rooster. Okay, the one drinking water right there is a rooster. And so very easy to recognize that because of his comb at the top of his head and his wattles below his beak, gaining prominence, getting darker in color. Whereas like these two laying down here are hens. So did I tell you how many there are? I don't think I did. There's 429 Cornish rock cross meat chickens in this pen. I did tell you age, 22 days old. They're looking really good. We're just keeping feed access available to them, fresh clean water available to them. We add fresh bedding frequently. In fact, I'm going to get some more bedding material this afternoon. I want to go ahead and add more bedding material into their living space. They're resting now, and the resting is really necessary. It's not because they're lazy. They rest frequently because they grow rapidly, and they eat heavily because they grow rapidly. Those two things are intrinsic to their distinction as a bird that converts feed to growth efficiently and rapidly. Okay, so they are still in what we consider a growing phase. This is kind of the middle of production. Check out that rooster that just stood up at the feeder right there. How about him? So they, as I mentioned, they eat heavily. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, the camera didn't stay where I had directed it. They eat heavily and they sleep a lot because they're growing rapidly. And we also want to see them consuming a lot of water, which they are. So if you have any questions about the meat bird operation, please do put it in the comments and let us know, and we'll try to get an answer for you. But a big motivation for us to have this YouTube channel is to encourage people, as I mentioned, I think at the beginning, to heart local ag. We hope that you'll consider the differences in the quality of food, unprocessed food compared to ultra-processed food. We're on a journey with that ourselves, trying to, work toward eating less ultra-processed food and more unprocessed foods, and having a really healthy, nutritive, wholesome diet that we consume. So we hope that through our videos we can reach out to people and just encourage you, as we're trying to encourage ourselves as well, to try to eat real foods, to try to source the foods as close to home as possible, and to support farmers and ranchers and producers in your area where you live. Because definitely, and I said this before, but it always bears repeating, definitely consumers need agriculture and the food produced by it, the produce, the protein, but we realize agriculture also needs consumers. And this lends right to the point of, I said I'd mention the video that really ties into that point, the one on DIY Agric. He says several times in his video, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? And to paraphrase, he's asking the producer to consider, what's the point of producing all this poultry if you don't market effectively to sell it to consumers? And that's true. And we often have said to clients of ours, when we're thanking them for their orders, we've got to sell it, because if we don't sell it, we can't keep producing it. So please, y'all, heart local ag.